The newly elected president of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, Mr. Adesina ADEDAYO, has called for an improved public and private partnership, particularly with the informal sector, to boost the country's tax to GDP ratio. Nigeria's tax to GDP ratio currently stands at 6%, which is below the World Bank's recommendation of a minimum of 15% for economic growth and poverty reduction. Adesina ADEDAYO reports.
Tax regime of destination countries is a factor that greatly influences investment decisions. Like many other countries, Nigeria have been in the practice of reviewing its tax policies to reduce fiscal burdens, which may be standing in the way of investment. But a tax to GDP ratio at 6% sends a wrong signal to the investment space. And reacting to this, the newly elected president of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, Mr. Adesina ADEDAYO, calls for an improved infrastructure development in the informal sector.
When it comes to informal sector, we have people who feel that, one, this income I'm making, the government is not contributing to it. That is why we're engaging the government in terms of issues that borders on even infrastructural development and other issues. Because, one, if the people do not have a sense of patriotism, it becomes even more challenging for the tax collectors to.
Speaking on the agenda of his administration in the next 2 years, the CITN president says it is looking at leveraging on technological innovations to solve issues around building database, revenue generation, and tax policy reviews.
We need professionals who are able to talk about economic issues and that in part how it affects revenue generation. We don't want to just talk off the cuff. We want to be able to have scientific, creative, research-based, innovative suggestions to the country's challenges. That is what the country needs as at now. We don't want to be talking about yesterday's issues today. We should be talking about tomorrow's issues today.
The Nigerian economy have had its own unfair share of the pandemic, surging the country's debt profile as a result of revenue shortfall. The CITN president highlights basic economic recovery strategies to bring the African giant back on its feet.
We need to start looking at the productive sector. We should start looking at what are the areas where we can bring in even companies to come and set up a base in Nigeria. And when they're able to do that, what happens? There is a multiplier effect. People are going to get employed. That is the angle we are looking at.
While the country faces revenue challenges, tax professionals are expected to begin to drive a balance between pursuit of tax revenues and promoting a favorable investment climate to attract foreign direct investment into the economy. Adesina ADEDAYO, TVC News, Lagos.